Let's go over to the phone, Jay, where we have Education Superintendent Jon Fernandez standing by. Good morning, John. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, good morning, guys.
Just wanted to get an update, kind of going round robin, all the different agencies, because it did, well, it was kind of a multi-agency effort going on there with the tree trimming, or what was exactly being done there, John, yesterday up at Benavemte Middle School?
Right. Well, we had a tree inspection going on in front of Benavemte Middle School, I guess you could say. I mean, we've been responding to something our PTO and some of the issues that they saw on campus. So, whenever you're looking at trees and tree trimming, you need a permit from agriculture, the Department of Agriculture. So, I guess yesterday was when they scheduled that visit, and we had about three DOE employees, two from the school and one from central office down there. We had several actually agricultural employees as well who were there to do the inspection. And Mayor Savara's actually came over. She's always been active at our schools in her village, so she went there personally to help. And I think what they were doing was just taking a look at the trees and the issues that were being identified at the front of the campus. Make sure that the trees don't, the branches don't fall where kids might be walking, and so forth. So that's the situation yesterday, and it was about 2 p.m. when I guess the event occurred, and basically I was alerted that there was a major accident in front of Benavemte Middle School. And so this is about an hour and a half before kids are released. So, the school's still in session. But my understanding was the message I got was that the mayor and several employees were there at the site. And, the first thing I did was I wasn't sure what I was hearing. I said, are they there because they're assisting with the accident, and how bad is the accident? And the response I got from my staff was that they were actually involved and were hit. So I was already in the Tamuning area, and I went up there just because I had heard the mayor was involved. I heard our employees were involved, and I know that there must have been other witnesses from our school. So I just wanted to get down there, see what the issues were, and see how our employees and how everyone involved was doing, and just get a better handle on the situation. So by the time I got there, which was about 15 minutes later, the fire department was there, ambulances were there, and they transported the 5 individuals who were hit, as well as the driver, to the hospitals over that time. So I think that was basically it. We just wanted to make sure that at that point, I was relieved because from what I observed and from what I heard, all the individuals who were involved who had been hit were conscious and speaking, and at least, and so I was worried about a much worse situation. And so, they were taken off to the hospital. Some of the relatives had already gotten the word and were reporting to the school. And so, I think they were just getting the information so they could follow up, get their relatives' belongings, and then go make sure they were taken care of at the hospital.
Right on. And so, how are they this morning, John? Everyone out and released?
Well, I think part of it, we wanted to at some point let them relax and recover. I mean, they were, we got our staff conscious enough to be texting and maybe big text. And as you know, they have all of these school-wide text groups, chat groups.
Right.
So I think everybody, of course, worried and concerned. My understanding was, a lot of go back and forth, making sure everyone's okay, sending prayers and condolences. But at the end of the day, I think they had to say, okay, let them take a break. It's been pretty traumatic. Let them, rest, recover overnight. It wasn't. I mean, I am saying I'm relieved, but there were. My understanding, there were serious injuries that needed to be attended to, and I'm sure they'll be getting the care they need to address any of those issues. But it was a pretty traumatic scene.
Right.
A terrible scene when I got there. It looked like the vehicle had been coming from the opposite direction, so it wasn't even on their side of the road.
Wow.
Had crossed the median, and then basically, there's a sidewalk and a railing in front of the school. The railing protects the walkers from a ditch, basically a ditch where there's water runoff and everything. So it wasn't separating them from the road. But what happened is that car, my understanding was that it swerved, hit the sidewalk and the railing, and then just kept coming towards all the individuals who were there doing the inspection. They had their, from what I understand, had their eyes on the tree, so their back was to the traffic. So they wouldn't have necessarily seen the car coming, but definitely once it hit the railing, I think that's when they became alerted to something weird going on, something strange. And then, of course, before too long, the car was upon them. It looked like about 50 feet of railing that had been, hit as it was coming to them. And luckily, it was there because, my observation was that it helped to slow and stop the vehicle before further damage was done. There were other employees who were still, who were at the scene, who were doing the inspection, who were not hit, and so, could have been more damage and more, more significant, consequences. So we're glad for that part.
Yeah, and that kind of seems to be the theme, is that it was serious, but it could have been worse. So we're thankful that it wasn't.
Yeah, and it happened again before, and you never know how these things happen, but, an hour and a half later, you would have had kids coming out, walking on that same sidewalk, going home. Right. So yesterday was a day for kids to be at school. So, again, we have to modify the release of the kids and the traffic in terms of the parents and buses when that time came. But I think by that time, much of the situation had been dealt with, and individuals involved were already transported. So we were thankful that we knew a lot of, we received a lot of, outpouring of support and, prayers from the community for our employees and the employees of our agricultural and forestry department. And of course, for Mayor Savaras, who I just have to say, I mean, she definitely is always, at the very front line. I didn't know why she was there with us at the tree inspection. I mean, I'm sure she didn't have to be there, but, as usual, she usually comes out and gets out there personally to help our school. So we do appreciate that, but obviously it put her in a bad situation yesterday. So we wish all of them as much of a recovery and quick as a recovery as possible. But we do know that there were some significant injuries that won't be healed overnight. So we're going to stay tuned and wish them the best as they go through that, and hopefully come back to us when they're able to.
Yeah, I mean, and looking at the video that we were able to get on the scene yesterday, the windshield of the vehicle was kind of caved in. So just putting two together, it maybe assuming that when he hit, or when the driver hit the group of people, that maybe they had come up over the hood. And I mean, it's tragic, John. So we'll just pray for everybody. But thank you for jumping on real quick to give us an update, because I know a lot of people.
Thank you for checking in with us. No, it was pretty bad. So again, we wish everyone the best, and thank everybody for their prayers and support.
Thank you, John. Have a good weekend.
Thanks. All right.
Happy Valentine's Day.
All right, same to you guys.
Okay. Jon Fernandez, Education Superintendent. We are KUAM FM, Agotni, Guam. The Breeze 93.9 on the radio side. Thank you to our Facebook Live viewers. We're going to take a quick break, and we're coming back with more of the show next, right here on The Link. Good morning.